Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to talk about today is what happened in a Chicago neighborhood earlier this week. You know, this is what happens when cities coddle criminals. Hundreds of deranged teenagers stormed the streets of a Chicago neighborhood earlier this week and caused such massive destruction along the way. There was no police in sight to protect the helpless residents that lived in this neighborhood. And it's been reported that around 9 p.m. on Monday night, the teenagers poured off the Chicago L train at the Belmont Red Line stop and completely shut down the roadway for several hours. And residents were left in complete terror. And I have a video of it, and it's terrifying. It really is, you know, especially for like our elders that live in that area and stuff like that. And there was an anonymous resident that revealed the extent of the havoc that the hoodlums wrought. And her own car was used as a personal toy. Where were the parents? Where were the parents? Or the guardians of these teenagers? Just a question, okay? They were jumping on cars, breaking glass, throwing things, okay? And this woman, this resident, where her car was used as a personal toy, said, "I know my personal automobile was used as a bar for people." Excuse me? She said that when she called 911 to report the scene, the cops said there was nothing they could do. Nothing they could do. Is it because they knew where they were outnumbered? She said, "I was told that there was nothing they could do, and they were so overwhelmed at the moment that there were just way too many calls coming in." My word. Another neighbor said that the whole incident was so terrifying and so very scary. She said she heard gunshots during the teen takeover, is what she called it. The teen takeover. She said it was so terrifying. It has been so very chaotic. And somebody who lived in Lakeview, which is the neighborhood, for the past 3 years, it's so very scary to see how things have changed over time. Here, watch the video.
This time in Lakeview.
Yeah, a mob of teens filled the streets, climbing onto cars, damaging the vehicles and businesses in the neighborhood. WGN's Kelly Davis has more.
This is the scene that unfolded just after 10 o'clock last night. Hundreds of teens took to the streets, shutting down Belmont for hours.
There was no celebration yesterday. It was just pure chaos.
Radi Hashish is the manager of the Slice Shop. The restaurant, just steps from the Belmont Red Line stop, was surrounded. He shared this video he took from inside the store of teens dancing on cars and drinking in the streets.
Right away, we decided to close both the store and the restaurant, and we stayed all night watching, making sure nobody broke in or, you know, nobody vandalized our business.
CPD officers worked to control the crowd and move them out of the area, but the teens left behind a path of destruction. People were horrified by the extent of the damage this morning. Shoe prints on cars, hoods dented, windshields broken. Grace Rowan said she even heard gunshots and was too scared to leave her apartment.
It has been very chaotic, and as somebody who's lived in Lakeview for...
People are hoping the city steps up to prevent this from happening again. Alderman Bennett Lawson helped with cleanup this morning. He released a statement saying, quote, "I will be meeting with the 19th District Police, CTA, and others to discuss what took place and identify ways we can prevent it from occurring moving forward, as well as continue conversations with my colleagues on City Council about how we can keep our youth from participating in these disruptive actions."
We all simply love Lakeview, and to see others coming in and not respecting your community the same way that you do is really upsetting.
Business owners were so spooked by the scenes that they immediately closed their businesses. Why are business owners so scared of these teenagers? They had to keep watch over their businesses all night in order to prevent them from destroying their property. What is going on? Why aren't the parents controlling their children? I know that when my son was a teenager, I knew where he was at all times. That's why my son does not have an arrest record. Here's what one of the business owners had to say. Right away, he decided to close the store and the restaurant. They stayed all night watching to make sure nobody broke in or nobody vandalized their business. Police finally arrived to break up the scene and eventually arrested 2 individuals. Two out of the thousands? Police spokesman Kelly Bartoli said a 15-year-old girl was charged with aggravated assault of a peace officer, which is a felony, and a misdemeanor count of resisting or obstructing a peace officer. A 50-year-old man was also charged with a misdemeanor count of resisting or obstructing a peace officer. My word. He was probably, I'm going to take a wild guess and say that the 50-year-old was probably so upset at what was going on with these teenagers, he was probably trying to stop them from doing something because nobody else was. Anyway. Things are getting out of hand. And it's up to the parents to stop this. All right, I'm out of here, okay? I will see you in the next one, okay? You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fearless and head on a swivel. Ciao.